Right, so in the second video then, we're going to look more at kind of initializing some game variables, and then we'll look at the high score and displaying the arena as well. So we'll get all those in, fingers crossed. So again, I'm not going to have a video where I'm just typing out bits of code, a bit too slow, and then you can kind of do this a little bit yourself and pause the video. So again, separate things up with asterisk, explain what this is. So this is procedures to initialize all game variables. I'm going to stress this again really. So this is one big huge problem, isn't it? But you can see the way we're going about this, we'll break it down to smaller problems, and that's obviously the main crux of programming. So we're going to create a subroutine called initialize game. We're going to have again track the x and the y, so just call it anything really, just call it counter x, counter y, and then we're going to initialize the arena. So we're going to create, remember our 2D array, the best practice obviously is to loop over that twice, so looping over the x side of it, so going across the top, and then down the left side. So to loop over a 2D array, that's what you're doing. So 0 to 49 is going along the top, and then 0 to 23. Okay, and if I illustrate this in a PowerPoint slide, if I can just find it on my other screen here. Obviously this isn't the full size of it, but you can see what it is we're doing. So that's the arena. So it starts 1, 1 in the top. So it counts like that. Remember, arrays count from 0, don't they? 0 to 49. So basically, 1 to 50 or 0 to 49 going across the top, and then 0 to 23. So that's how it's mapped out. So think of it like in a grid format like that, and you'll be doing all right. Okay. Next bit then, so initializing game variables. So we just set these up, and again, it's good practice if you do get into computer games programming, looking at game variables. Again, the good thing is about them setting them up, if I want to change that game speed later down the line, I can do quite easily. Set the score as 0, worm alive is going to be true to begin with, and then worm grow is going to be set to false initially. So we set those as booleans further up here, didn't we? Yeah. And then so as it eats the food, that will change. There's like a flag, another word for it's called a flag as well. Worm head pointer is 4 and worm tail pointer is 1. I'll explain that in a moment. And the direction it's going to start off is going to be right. So as it loads on the screen, I'm going to have to show you this. It's going to load here, exactly like this actually. So it's on the Y in our array. So again, it's going to be 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, all on that row basically, horizontally. And then going across the top then, it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. So on the X, it's going to be mapped out 5, 6, 7, 8. And on the Y, it's just 5 all the time. So if I move to this, that'll explain it a little bit better. So we've got something called a tail pointer, alright, which is going to be 5. So the tail of our worm is this, although we can't see it any different from the front and back, to be honest. So the tail's here. We know that because it's 5, 5, 5 on the X, 5 on the Y. And then we've got the head, which is here. So 8 and then 5. Alright, so just be aware of those diagrams to show you. So visually, I think it just helps understand things when you write out your code. So we've got the head pointer, as I said. It's going to be 4. Again, if we flick that diagram back over, that's what that is there. So we're giving those different values, aren't we? Alright, so tail pointer being 1, head 4. Again, you could do that the other way around if you wanted to make sure you're understanding it. Okay, worm direction is going to go right, as I said, but we'll program that later. And then we're just mapping where the worm's going to be then. So 1, 1, alright, of our worm. So it's different to the arena array, this now, think about it. So it's 1, 1, so the first bit of our worm is going to go in 5, and then the second bit is going to go in 5 as well. So just to cover that bit there, if I just bring that slide back over, that's this here, so 5, 5. Okay, that's where the variables 1, 2 come from. Alright, make sure you understand that. and then the arena 5-5 with that first bit of the worm is going to be that bit there. Okay, so that's the bit we're talking about. So hopefully that understands and explains that. Alright, and then the same just going to go on then. So this block of 3 here, so 2, 1, 2, 2. So I'll show you that on here. Again, we're up to, yeah, so 2, 1 is going to be 6. Yeah, 2, 2 is going to be 5, just to map that out with there. So that's that here, isn't it? This bit of the worm. And then the arena, it's going to be 6, 5. Alright, yeah, and then on that repeats then, so I just kind of, and so on really. That you kind of see it's the same again. So another block of 3 there, and finally there to complete the worm. And then you might want to start the worm off larger than that. Up to yourselves really. Then I'm going to randomize, alright, to where that's going to be positioned, and then finally I'm going to drop the food, which is another subroutine which we made in the last video, which is up here. So that's going to run after this has all been sorted. Okay, right, that's that bit done. Let me just find my notes again. So I did say we'll look at the high score table as well, so we're going to make another subroutine and pop that underneath that one. So put it down there. So we're going to initialize high scores, so we'll make another subroutine of that. So that only comes in really once the game's ended. So we're going to create a counter again. It's just kind of a quite a default name. You can call it what you want really, but it's just good practice to just call it that. So it's going to count something. This is going to be for our top 10. So think of a top 10 leaderboard. That's what that is. I'm just going to loop over that. So 1 to 10, if you like, or 0 to 9. And then it's going to look at our variable high score. So again, that's where the counter comes in. So we're going to set, you could call that anything really. So that's just going to be, you can almost write blank there. So when our game starts, it's not going to have any names or high scores in it. But that's just putting in like a placeholder name really. You can call it what you want. And then obviously there aren't going to be any scores in. It'll be set to 0 initially. Okay, so fairly straightforward, that one. And again, once you see this in action, it actually helps to understand what this code's doing. So we do another one. Alright, the next bit then, you obviously can pause and type this out. So procedure to display the arena. So I'm going to display the arena. Again, I've done some of the variables. I can use those again because I'm in a different subroutine here. And to start off, so we don't want it to be visible. This is for the arena now, so we just want it to be blank really. Alright, if you're going to work out where that is, it's going to clear anything that's there. Alright, then these are just VB library functions, and you can look those up in the documentation as to what they do in Microsoft, but just don't worry about those for now. Set the position, so 55, 2 initially. Sorry, this is part of the arena. So this bit here is going to be, once I run the game, so let's pretend the arena's here where I'm drawing the mouse. Alright, on the right hand side I'm going to have some menus where it's going to say score. So that's just the plotting the coordinates of that. And then underneath that I'm going to have a bonus which is going to count down. That's going to be over here as well. So not in the arena of where the snake's going to mooch about, if you like. Alright. And then to keep that displaying then, we loop over that. So X and Y. Alright. Again, so there's 2 for loops going on there because we're a 2D array. And just check that when you set cursor position, that you're doing counter X, counter Y. When I first programmed this, I did 2 counter X's by mistake. It messed it up. It took me ages to find that error. And then console.write arena. So we're going to obviously print that out of whatever is in these over here. Alright. So I hope that makes sense. Again, it helps when we actually see this in action. Not too worried about it for now. So you don't understand it for now. Just write it out, and as we get more towards the end of it, you'll kind of click a little bit more. Alright, so that's the end of the second video. See you in the next one.